Hi everyone, today's video is on simple interest, and interest deals with money when you either borrow money or invest money. When you borrow money, you don't just get to borrow the money for free. You have to pay the bank interest. So that's like a percent of the money you're borrowing. You pay it back to them on top of the money that you borrowed as like as payment for borrowing the money, kind of. And also, if you invest your money, like put it into a savings account or an investment account, the bank during that time is using your money, and so they pay you for putting your money there. So it's kind of like they're borrowing it for you from you during that time, and so you earn money on your money while it's there. So that money you earn is called interest, or the money the bank earns off of you when you borrow their money is called interest. So today's lesson is on simple interest, and there's a quick, easy formula to use to calculate simple interest. So the formula is interest equals principal times rate times time, PRT. So I is the interest earned or paid, depending on if you're borrowing money or investing money. Principal, P is for principal, and that's basically either the amount of money you borrowed, or the amount of money you invested. And then interest is, or R is the interest rate, and you're going to write that as a decimal, so it's nice and easy to take the interest rate. It's usually given as a percent. If you just divide it by 100, you have the decimal. So I'll give you a couple of examples. If you have 100%, you divide that by 100, and you could use that as a 1. You would never get 100% interest rate, so that's probably not a very good example. So let's say the interest rate were 6%. If you divide 6% by 100, you get 6/100ths. So instead of using 6%, you would use 6/100ths. If the interest rate is 3.5%, dividing that by 100 gives you 35 thousandths, so that's what you would use for the rate. So you're always going to use the rate as a decimal. So all you do is divide by 100. The nice easy way to do that, you'll notice when you divide numbers by 100, the decimal point just moves 2 places to the left. So that's a nice easy way to go ahead and do that. And then T stands for time, and you're always going to want to put the time in years. So if it's given in years, 2 years, just put in 2 into the formula. If it's given in months, you're going to want to put it over 12. So if you have 2 months, that's 2 months out of 12 months. So you're going to use 2/12 or simplify it to a sixth. 6 months is a nice easy one. You know that's a half a year. Or again, you could just do 6 over 12 and simplify it. You'll get a half. So you have to be careful that you're doing time in years, or you'll get the wrong number. Okay, here we go. So the first example, if you were to borrow $300 for 2 years at 6% interest rate, then remember the formula is interest equals principal times rate times time. So my principal, the amount I'm borrowing, is $300. My interest rate is 6%. I need to write that as a decimal. So if I divide 6 by 100, I get 6/100ths, and my time is 2 years. And it's this easy. So to get my interest, I just simply multiply 300 times 6% as a decimal is 6/100ths times 2. And if I borrowed $300 for 2 years at 6%, I would be paying $36 in interest. So if the question asks you for the total amount you're paying back, you would be paying back $300 you borrowed plus $36 interest. You would have to pay back $336. If the question just asked for how much interest you're paying, you're done at 36. Let's try another example. If I invest $1,000 for 5 years at 3.5%, and I want to know how much interest I would earn, because this is an investment, so you're earning interest now. Again, I use interest equals principal times rate times time. So principal is the money I'm investing, so that's $100 or $1,000. times the rate. That's the interest rate. Remember, I need to write it as a decimal. Now, this percent happens to have a decimal in it, but that's not what we're talking about. It's still a percent. So we divide it by 100, and we get 35 thousandths times the time. And remember, time has to be in years, and it is in years, so we're good. We multiply by 5, and 1,000 times 35 thousandths times 5 is $175. So if I put $1,000 in an account for 5 years at 3.5%, when I was done, I would not only have that $1,000, but I would also have another $175 on top of that, for a total of $1,175. So if the question was asking how much interest you earned, you're done here. If the question wanted to know how much you'd have in total after the 5 years, you need to add what you started with plus the interest, and here's your answer. Okay, I think you're good on those, so I skipped one, and here's one with 6 months. So remember, your time has to be in years. So this is one with 6 months. So I want to show you how to do one like this. So again, interest is principal times rate times time. And the principal is, in this case, you are investing $250. At an interest rate of 5%, we need to write that as a decimal. So 5 divided by 100 gives us 5 hundredths for 6 months. So remember, our time always has to be in years, and so 6 months is a half of a year. So you can use a half or you can use 0.5. Either one will get you to the right answer. And so when I multiply 250 times 5 hundredths times a half, I get $6.25 is the interest I earned. So if all they want to know is the interest I earned, I'm done. If they want to know the total I would have after those 6 months, I need to add the 250 plus the 625, and the total I have after the 2 years is $256.25. And I'll just do one more example like that, while, as you can hear, the students coming in the background. Okay, so if I were going to borrow $600 for 5 months at 4.5% interest rate. So again, notice this is months and I need to use years. So interest is principal times rate times time. My principal is $600. My interest rate is 4.5%. I need that in decimal form. So it's 45 thousandths. 5 months is 5/12 of a year. Do the math. 600 times 45 hundredths times 5/12 get you $11.25 in interest that you would have to pay back. If they just want to know the interest, you're done. If they want to know the total you're paying back plus interest, you need to add that to your principal, and it's $611.25. Okay, so make sure you filled out your note sheet. You copied a couple of examples. Make sure one of your examples included months, not just years. And we'll talk about this more in class when I see you again. So have a great day. Bye-bye.
Made with DoodlecastPro.